Greetings, ladies and gents. Welcome back to the Craft Hammer. I'm your host, Stefan, and in this episode, as we mentioned before, we're going to be doing a quick little review of where my Inquisition Force and overall project is in its collection and painting the models. So I decided that what I'll do is I will show off the models that are fully painted and of course fully built, and I will leave the ones that haven't been touched yet for a future video so that you can kind of see it expand over time. And there's no point in going in too much detail of all the models that haven't been painted yet, as I'll do those in kind of hobby vlog updates as time goes on. So for now, we're just gonna kind of look at these. I do have them as a large group at the moment, so what I'll do is I'll kind of break it down per group and then go through each one of them and explain, I suppose, why I got them and how I think they fit the theme. But overall, I think they all kind of fit nicely into the generic either rogue trader or inquisitorial warband that's expanded beyond just one inquisitor, and he's gotten a retinue over time. So let's start off with the Imperial Navy breachers that I have here. Of course, every inquisitorial warband needs to have the troops, in a sense, the people who are actually doing the fighting beyond just the inquisitor, who enforces their authority, etc. So when I first saw these, it kind of just clicked in my mind, and these are one of the kits that really motivated me to actually start making inquisitorial warband. And including the Elisudian Star Striders, they also kind of, it made it clear that it would be a perfect little project. And at first it was only going to be just these Navy breachers and the rogue trader, but then once you open the gate, the ideas just keep flowing in. I kept finding other models that were in metal that kind of suited the theme, and now that the Arbites were shown off, well, it's been a while since they were shown off, but since they've become their own separate kit and you can get it, eventually I would like to also include a squad of those. But for now, we have 20 Navy breachers here, and I kind of wanted them to stand out a tiny bit, hence why I decided to go for an orange coat with a light blue trimming, just so that they kind of shine above the metallic surfaces that they're on, and when they're in the ship, you can kind of see them a bit better. Moving on to the Elucidian Star Striders. Now this kit really pumped the gear into high for my project. For a long while, obviously they weren't in production and I really wanted to try and get them, and I was looking at them secondhand, but they were super expensive or they were broken up into separate kits and there was no way to cheaply get them. And luckily they were obviously released in their own little kill team box, so it was a perfect opportunity for me to get them. And I absolutely love these sculpts. I think they look great. They really had some character to the whole project. Of course, this whole thing could technically also be counted as a rogue trader project, since you can just simply swap out the inquisitor and then all of a sudden your army's kind of focused in a different manner. So in terms of actual gameplay, there's no real focus in terms of what I want to collect to make the army viable. At the moment, it's mostly just collecting what I think adds to the theme and looks cool in sense of being a rogue trader force or being an inquisitorial warband. And that's kind of the gist of it. Of course, I could, make a sort of playable 1000 point list. Obviously, I still need a few things to collect to make it there. It won't be the most high performing list, or it won't really have the best rules, as it'll be kind of a mishmash under most likely the Astra Militarum index cards and then add them as allied units. I do plan to eventually play a 1000 point game, and just kind of have all of these units on the board, even though they might not really make full sense, or they might not be the most cohesion force, and they'll be a bit broken up, but the whole point is that they'll look cool on the board. And lastly, what we have here, which will likely be the largest contingency of this whole force, and there's quite a few more models that kind of fit this criteria, is anything and everything that I think looks cool, doesn't really have specific rules or doesn't really fit perfectly into the force, but thematically they look great and it makes sense to have them in an Inquisitorial warband or a Rogue Trader warband. So these kind of fit that mold. Obviously there's no specific way to play all of these that would make sense, so some of them would have to be proxied. For example, over here we have the Navigator, which would likely be proxied as a Primaris Psyker, literally to the left of it, or to its right, since it's a Psyker based model in the lore, and it would make sense, that's how I would play it. And then back here we have Sisters of Battle, 3 of them. Obviously there's no specific thing that would make sense for an Inquisitor to have one Sister of Battle, but maybe in this case the actual sister themselves could be played as an Inquisitor or some sort of priest or missionary type model that would fit their kind of aesthetic, which we have just behind them. We got I believe the one with the book on the stick is a missionary, and then the one here, the little priest there, I believe is also from the Blackstone Fortress game, and he will be just proxied in. And then you can't really have an Inquisitorial warband without an assassin, so here's the first one that I have, the Eversor, and then I will likely add another 1 or 2. And the Sister of Silence, I do have a Custodes force, but I don't really have anything for her to go with, so for now she will be part of this whole project for the Inquisition. So those are kind of the oddballs in a sense. They don't have squads or like whole retinues to go with, and they're just going to be proxied in, maybe even into the Inquisitorial warband. I'm sure this Sister Battle here with the Flamer / Chainsword mixed in, she would go great and really match that theme. And then I was also even thinking that the Astropath here would actually do well as a mystic in the henchman squad. But yeah, for now it's a small part of the force, but it will actually grow to probably be the largest section, since I found many metal models from long ago that kind of fit this criteria of perfectly for the theme, but maybe not so well with the rules, and they're going to have to be proxied in, squished in here and there if they're going to be played. So yeah, overall this is the project at the moment. I guess that this would count as part 1. We're definitely going to be adding a lot more things in here. It's going to be a while before it's all done. I was actually thinking that I might try and combine all of this into a little photo shoot, and maybe even apply to see if it can be put into the White Dwarf magazine. I think that would look pretty cool, just to have them on a spread, like a 2-page spread, and then a little blurb about them, so that would be interesting to see if they'd accept it. But until then, and until the next update for the Inquisition, I will talk to you later. Don't forget to put any comments down below, what you think of the Force, or maybe you think I need to add something specific that I've kind of missed. Give me your thoughts down below. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and I shall see you in the next video. Take care, folks.